Welcome back, you guys. I'm Nini FC. This is BRIGHTON CV, and today I'm bringing you guys a news daily video. Now, we know that today is the end of the transfer window, and I thought, why not do a little news recap of all the latest stuff that's happened today, talk about why we didn't sign certain players that we wanted either, and of course, other incidences as well. But before I get into anything, today's video is brought to you by the OneFootball app. Download the app to get the latest news happening right now. Get the stuff in regards to the game tomorrow against Leicester City, match facts, stats, information, all that type of stuff you need. What you guys waiting for? You'll find a link below in the description below. Now, I think the first question that we're all wondering is, why didn't we sign Dries Mertens in the end? Now, of course, the club had a lot of negotiations overnight and this morning with Napoli, desperate to sign Mertens, exploring every possible avenue and outlet to get the player. Unfortunately though, it seemed like De Laurentiis just didn't want to play ball. He slapped on a 40 million price tag on Mertens, effectively telling us to go away, you're not going to have the player. Was Dries really too excited to sign for us as well? Well, no. Not when Dries wants to become Napoli's record goal scorer. He's 4 goals away from Hamsik to breaking the record, so when you're that close, when you have that much affinity to the fans, to your teammates, your friends, the squad, how can you leave like that when you're effectively going to sign for us to be a rotation option? Now, I do get the argument that we waited so long to even show our interest in the player, but the reality is, you guys, Dries was a last resort desperation signing. The player's been injured for how long? He isn't even playing any games at this moment in time. If we had signed him, would he have come to the team being fit and ready for the games? I'm not too sure. It would have taken him a while, and it really just highlights just how desperate this signing was always going to be. It's the same thing with Cavani. You know, we don't have the same resources that LAMPTEY do. We don't have any contacts with third-party companies. You know, we don't do those types of deals. Not like how LAMPTEY do. And when you consider Cavani's 33, the wages, etc, well, I don't think we can be too mad at the club. They didn't splash out a ridiculous amount of money to try and sign a player. And it's like, why even commit so hard and so much, especially when the player has already given his gentleman's words and agreement that he is going to sign for Atleti in the next window. Now, at this point in time, Atleti weren't able to reach any agreement to sign Cavani for this window, but it looks like that deal is going to be postponed to the summer when Cavani becomes a free agent. Now, when Cavani's a free agent, I'm sure that most of you guys aren't going to care about us being linked with the player, because around that time, how many strikers are going to be available on the market? There's going to be so many, we won't know what to do. And in terms of being the right suit for us, well, there's going to be much better options compared to Cavani. And the second we weren't able to sign either Mertens or Cavani, well, essentially the race for signing a striker was over. Now, as Matt Law had been reporting throughout the day, the club had been in a lot of talks trying to find a striker option to sign for this window. It wasn't the case, and let's be real. Do we want to sign your Igalos in this window? Waste that type of money? Waste that type of money on a signing like that? Of course not. So it just meant that we had to accept things and really work towards the summer. Now, moving on to the next story, because we weren't able to sign any strikers, this unfortunately meant that Olivier Giroud was not allowed to leave. Now, Giroud must feel incredibly frustrated. He's been promised to move away for how long? He's made it abundantly clear. He wants to leave to get game time because he wants to represent his national team in the upcoming Euros. Now, the fact that Giroud isn't going to be leaving, I'd have to assume that Lampard is going to have to give him game time just as a duty. Mitch, he hasn't been too inspiring, and Lampard may feel like, am I really missing out on things tactically? But even Mitch, he can't do this? Of course not. You know, Didier Deschamps has stated categorically that if you aren't playing consistent football, it's going to mean that you're not fully match fit. So how can you even play international football during the summer? It's not going to happen. So Giroud must be so frustrated right now. He must feel so let down. He's reached so many agreements in terms with how many clubs. He was close to Lazio, Inter Milan, clubs in France. You can go on and on and on. And sometimes, you guys, this is the unfair reality of football. It's not as simple as just signing players and selling players. And a lot of times your future isn't even in your own hands. Let's hope that Lampard does the right thing, which he always tends to do, and he is going to give Giroud that game time so he does fulfill his ambitions of playing for his national team. And hopefully, if Giroud gets the opportunity, we see a new life in the player, we see some different things in him, we see that ambition back, knowing that if he performs for us, he's guaranteeing a place of representing France. So let's see what happens. Good luck to him. And on that point, you guys, move on to the third story for today. And now we talk about a major departure. That is Tariq Lamptey. He hasn't signed for Lille. He hasn't gone to France. Instead, he's signed for Brighton. He's left us on a permanent today. So all we can really say is good luck to Tariq. It's very understandable why he had to leave. You know, with Azpilicueta being there, Reece James being the long-term successor down that right-hand side as well. Well, Lamptey knew that he was always going to play backup for a very long time. And when you've been a player at this club since you were 7 years old, well, you have ambition, you have mentality. You know that you're good enough and you want the very best in your career. So it means that you don't settle. It means that you put yourself out there, you try and educate yourself on your game, learn, grow and improve. That's what you do. And as Tariq said himself, it was a really tough decision to leave, as I've been at this club since the age of 7 and I'd seen it all the way to the under-23s and then to the first team. It was a proud moment when I made my Premier League debut, but I felt that it was the right time to start a new chapter and to come to this brilliant club. The manager and the club have shown great faith in bringing me here. I just hope I can repay their trust and help the club reach their goals and objectives. They are a team on the up with a great fan base, training ground and stadium, and they have everything I need to become a better player. Now, you know, do I feel that Tariq made the right decisions? You know, I can't be so arrogant. I'm not going to have all the information that Tariq's going to have. You know, I'm not speaking directly to Brighton. I don't know what's being offered, but, you know, I can just give some brief opinions. And I just think if you have the opportunity of maybe playing in France, you know, with a team like Lille, where Lille are a team that traditionally sell players for big money. Big teams tend to sign their players. At Brighton, big teams don't really tend to sign anyone from there. Now, I understand that they are a club on the up, you know, with Graham Potter being there, the amazing job he did in Sweden, you know, the football he's trying to incorporate here. It was going to take him time because Brighton were really catered towards that pragmatic style of football before Potter's arrival. So with how he uses wing backs as well, with Tariq, you're thinking this is the perfect scenario. But I'm just thinking, you know, so often, especially with clubs like this, you know, their game plans, their ambitions, they can fade away just like that if results don't go in their favor. And I just think that if you have the opportunity of maybe going to France to really put yourself out there, learn a new culture, learn to have that resilience for yourself, maybe it could have been better. But at the same time, it's only a personal thought and opinion. I'm not trying to say that I know better and I know everything. Of course not, you guys. Now, as I keep saying, it's really not going to be a surprise to watch us re-sign any of our former fullbacks due to, you know, just how many great players we produce. At the same time of Tariq leaving, there's already another player on that conveyor belt coming through. Livramento, the young 17-year-old doing absolute bits, you guys, so let's not worry too much. Of course, Tariq can have an amazing career. Let's see what happens. And on that point, we move on to the next story, and that's in regards to more loan departures that left today. His name is Charlie Brown. He has joined Union SG, and they're a team that are playing in Belgium. Now, this would be an opportunity for him to play men's football where there's that daily pressure behind you. Because for a lot of players that play for clubs like this, you know, football really is life and death. It really is a livelihood. How you perform is going to determine the amount of money you bring in. And the amount of money you bring in is important for the bills you pay, for your family, your lifestyle, etc, etc. So let's hope that Brown does perform well there. Another player that did leave was Jacob Maddox. He does sign for Southampton. Now, this is quite curious. I've heard that at Southampton, you know, he does have some family relations in that sense. I can't go into too many details, but there is a family relation at the top. It's an opportunity for Maddox to have a second chance in that sense to really show what he's about. You know, I remember him being a very neat and tidy player that looked very good alongside a lot of the great established young players we used to have before. At times, you know, life can happen, things can happen. You know, I'm not too sure what the issue is, but he has an opportunity to do something. I hope it goes well for him because I'm hoping that things go well for everyone. You know what I mean? Yeah. There's been enough negativity in the world, you guys. And you guys, on that point, that's going to bring it into today's very disappointing news daily video. Now, you know, for the sake of fun, it would have been nice to see someone come through. Is this the end of the world? Of course not, you guys. This was never the end of the world. Let's remember, we didn't even think we'd have any window to operate in. So let's pretend that the ban was overturned and we weren't allowed to sign anyone. Hopefully we can just get over this period and focus on supporting the players, getting behind the team. As I'm constantly saying, if you want these big boys to come in, a top 4 finish is your salvation. It really is. Get behind the team, you guys. Again, there is another video I released today. I really love for you guys to watch it because I go into further detail, just expressing my thoughts and opinions on our current transfer window. And I'd like to hear what you guys say about it. So on that note, I'm going to wrap things up. Keep things moving. Thank you for watching. Tomorrow, big game against Leicester City. Expect me to be there as well. Could there be a live stream? I'm not too sure at this point in time, but it depends on how my day goes, you guys. But still, I'm going to go. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys tomorrow.